Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about why I believe we need the zodiac sign Scorpio in our lives. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, well, first off, they have very extraordinary investigative ability. They have very good detective skills, can be the super sleuths of the zodiac. They often are very proficient in investigation, forensics, can make very good policemen. They are they are enamored often with getting to the bottom of things and solving things. So anyway, another thing too is that why I believe we need Scorpio is because they are often very good at detecting subterfuge and superficiality. They often see right through others, transparency, and they could help us out. They could be beneficial to us because they can often see when others might have hidden agendas or ulterior motives, and that could be beneficial to us, people that are trying to bamboozle us or what have you, and they could help us prevent those things from happening to us. Now, another thing about Scorpio too, why I believe we need them, is because they can be downright unflappable in crisis situations. They are often very composed. They could be very good EMTs. They could be very quick-witted, quick to act quickly in an emergency and act with a lot of composure and not get rattled or frazzled. They even in sports, I'll notice this. You look at a former NFL quarterback, Phil Simms, son in Scorpio, showed this strong composure in crunch time when leading his team to a game-winning touchdown or what have you. And then you look at Aaron Rodgers is a Scorpio moon, and he shows this very strong, unflappable energy. But I think a lot of that has to do with his Taurus rising as well. Probably figures prominently in that as well. You don't really see Aaron Rodgers get too frazzled or flustered in crunch time. So anyway, another thing about Scorpio, I believe we need them, is because they could be very adept at problem solving. They could help us figure things out, whether it could be something simple in a puzzle book like a cryptogram or Sudoku puzzle, a word find, or it could be some kind of really serious issue like a computer problem or something wrong with our refrigerator, or it could be something that could be of a mechanical nature or what have you. They are often the ones that can help us solve the problem and figure it out. We got one person trying to maneuver 3 bicycles. They'll tell us to take excuse me, I went a whole 3 minutes without coughing. They'll tell us to take 2 bicycles and put the other one on top, and that's how we'll push all 3 of them simultaneously. I mean, they are the ones that are often very adept at the problem solving, and they can be very beneficial to us because of that. Now, another reason why we need Scorpio is because they often have very solid mechanical skill and ability, whether it's about repairing a car, computer equipment, refrigeration, mechanics. They are the ones that will often be able to help us out in those situations when we need something repaired. So those are I think a lot of it might have to do with the co-rulership of Mars with Scorpio. But anyway, excuse me, another thing, reason why we may need Scorpio, and really, it's because they could be very proficient at astrological, occult, supernatural subject matter. It's interesting when people talk about, okay, Uranus being the ruler of astrology, but Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. One of the rulers is Pluto. Pluto can be connected with the occult and supernatural. Scorpio, I think, is unequivocally the most occult of all the zodiac signs, and this often produces very good astrologers. You look at Alan Oken, renowned Alan Oken, Scorpio rising. Liz Green, Scorpio rising, very close to the 29th degree, which I see as the full culmination of the energy. Hold on a moment, people. Stephen Forrest, Scorpio rising as well. And they are the ones that often are very astute at astrology. And people, you have to understand, I mean, Scorpio, this is the sign. I mean, Scorpio people often do have a very strong affinity for the site. A friend of mine one time was a double Scorpio. You can look at, he had Scorpio moon and Ascendant. I remember him walking around with a Ouija board strapped to his back one day. Excuse me. Now, another reason I think why we need Scorpio is because they could often be very inspirational in terms of transforming others. They could get other people to reach higher attainments, reach their greatest heights, and somebody's down and out, or they're in a bad situation, they're in an impoverished situation, facing oppression or destitute, in lower stature in life. They will often be the ones that could come over and inspire us to transform ourselves and reach a higher plateau and really reach our pinnacle in terms of what we're able to accomplish, which is similar to Sagittarius energy, I think, but the difference is Scorpio is more about transformation. Oh man. Wow, I got a nice cough for Christmas. I got no presents, but I got a nice cough in my presents. Imagine that. Anyway, another reason why we need Scorpio, I think, is because of their resiliency. They often have tremendous bounce back ability from adversity. And what happens is, well, you figure, well, how is that advantageous to us? Well, they can inspire us in the process. They could show that, you know what, if I can come back from adversity and adverse situations, you know what, you can as well. I mean, my grandmother had Scorpio rising. She had such an indomitable spirit, such a strong-willed person. And I mean, she made it through despite a lot of debilitations, being crippled and having problems walking or whatever. She was just somebody that was a real trooper, and they have this ability to still forge ahead despite their whatever predicaments they may face. Now, another reason why I think we need Scorpio in our lives is because they often have a very strong ability to decipher the character composition of others. A lot of it is intuitive, but they see it through their body language as well. Whether someone may be gulping when they're talking, they could detect prevarication. You know, that's a sign of lying. I talked about the gulping, you know, with the throat. When you're talking, this is a sign of lying. They will often let us know. They can tell us when someone's trying to pull the wool over our eyes or what have you, or however the expression goes. And this could be beneficial to us, of course. They could see through body language certain mannerisms of people, what have you, when somebody, you know, what their true intentions may be. Now, last but not least, we need Scorpio too, I believe, because with their indomitable spirit, they'll forge on often despite obstructions and setbacks. They have very strong willpower. Again, going to my grandmother, a Scorpio rising, I can remember one time when she walked about probably close to a mile, despite being crippled, just to go get me lunch, just to go get me something to eat. And she did it despite her debilitation. And really, there was another person. I had a chart online. The data was not, I don't think, it was far from an A in terms of the rating on astro.com, but if I remember correctly, but Helen Keller had her at Scorpio rising. Now, that data is not, I mean, it was, if I remember correctly, it's far from an A rating, but it wouldn't surprise me if Helen Keller actually did have Scorpio rising, given that she was able to persevere through all those restrictions and limitations and still reach high attainments, and really led her to world renown. But then again, I don't know 100% if she actually did have Scorpio rising or not. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment as far as why I believe we need Scorpio. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about why I believe we need Sagittarius. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.